ああ、そうだな。
気持ちいい。さあ、行きましょうか。
そうだな。
私の胸のご感想は？
いやー、マジ眼福。
もう行くわよ。
All right, my friends, New Gate episode 5. And episode 5 really was that kind of break before kind of the next thing comes. We do know now that the very next thing that Tierra and Schnee and our boy is going to do is they're essentially going to go in and they're going to make for the Beast Village or the Beast Town or something of that nature, essentially. And this episode was primarily focused around Shin getting closer to Schnee, right? And him kind of establishing himself once again as the Moon Sanctum's owner. And then him, using his blacksmith skill, and also catching the ire, or I should say the eye of Rion, I think her name is. I don't know if she's a princess or a queen, but, big asset lady, he definitely caught the ire or the eye once again of her as well, too. So she's looking forward to meeting him, and challenging him, but then also learning more about the blacksmith or a high human. This episode also established Shin talking to Will. And I thought it was a really cute moment that they both shared when he told Will, like, oh, you're the first friend I've made. I thought Will, it was an embarrassing moment for them both. And I thought it was a really cute moment. And I like how he said, like, hey, whatever happens, you call me. I'll be there kind of thing. And I really love that quite a bit. This episode also had where Yuzuha transformed from, fox to fox girl, because of course she did. And she ended up being it looks like a 10-year-old, like I would say 10 or 12, maybe something like that. She looks like a young girl, like a young shrine maiden is what she ends up looking like, which is really, really cool as well too. And the cool thing is, I guess Shin kind of knew about that. Apparently this is common for elementals in this world, so that's really cool too. The other thing with this episode did is, one of the worries I always have with every anime MC is, what I like to call it, they have a specific item equipped, and it's virgin. And Shin seems to have, he might have a smaller version of said item, but it's dangling on him. The good thing is he didn't completely dismiss Schnee. He did overreact, but I don't think he overreacted, like, screaming and getting out the bed and, all this other stuff that every MC decides to do the moment a female comes in their bubble vicinity. Whether it's a female that they know is 100% in love and will give their mind, body, and soul to them or not. But thankfully he did overreact, but he ended up embracing her, or at least kind of embracing her, because she was crying and, she was dreaming about Shin. And obviously that elves age differently, and the way that they view time is different. But obviously that time away from Shin really did affect her quite a bit. And she, he's been top of mind for her for a really long time. So I was glad to see that he didn't completely go full virgin, but he still had that. That's evident once again later on in the end of the episode where, Tierra is just stretching, and he's, over the moon about it. And yeah, so there's a little bit of that virgin MC in here. It's not super strong, but it's still there. And hopefully it's one thing that kind of like dissipates if it's one of those things to where if they decide to make it a focus with moments of, male to female interaction, hopefully it dissipates. My big hope is hopefully they don't even go down that real avenue at all, because again, if they do it, they need to do it right. And 9 out of 10 times, most anime go down the virgin route, which just ends up being not enjoyable to watch, and it ends up just being like, so there's that. The very next thing though is they're gonna go and they're gonna meet up with this character, Gerard, I think his name is, and he's the leader of the Beast Folk. He's apparently they only live about 150 years. This bro's lived around over 500. Shanice said, like, yo, he's dying. And apparently he was one of Shin's many support characters that were going to come and meet throughout his journey. So my hope is that he's able to revitalize or rejuvenate him, by pure power of MC, MC power. That would be really cool. If not, hopefully we see some kind of really sentimental, goodbye. Him finally reuniting with his master, and then having some really cool moment there. The last thing I want to say is Shin and Tiara going to, Shin going to the guild, but then Tiara registering at the guild. I'm very excited to see on what she takes on as her first mission and stuff as they, continually go and rank up. So lots of stuff that happened this episode. I will say I was entertained. I was engaged. And those are really the two main things I look for any show. So those are my main two things. I was engaged and I was entertained. So I liked this episode quite a bit. It was an informational, contextual episode. Not a lot happened, but information, context-wise, and kind of building up the little, building up Wilhelm over here and what's going on with the church. Yuzuha over here. Schnee and Shin reuniting, getting closer here. Tiara finally leaving the sanctum, establishing herself as an adventurer over here. I think it's setting up, quite a few different things that it kept me engaged. So not boring, entertained, engaged. Really like this episode quite a bit. So those are my thoughts overall. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Appreciate you guys coming in for another episode of New Gate. I'll see you guys next week for episode number 6. One love. See you next week, my friend. Peace out.